Taiwanese people love tasty refreshments, and bubble tea shops are found on every corner. According to data from food delivery platforms, people in the southern city of Kaohsiung have a particular fondness for handshake.
Bubble tea is one of Taiwan's most renowned cultural exports, and the base of this beloved beverage is tea. According to Taiwan's Agriculture Ministry, Taiwan's unique natural environment plus the extraordinary tea-making techniques allow different tea regions in Taiwan to produce their own tea with distinctive flavors. And for tea lovers and fanatics, you can even look up the temperature, the humidity, and the average rainfall of each tea region. There's even a Taiwan tea assortment and grading system created to help consumers better understand the taste characteristics of tea. Now you would think that since the tea industry is so important to Taiwan, that authorities would do everything to protect its sources.
Protesters are demanding the cancellation of a planned trash incinerator in central Taiwan. The Nantou County government says it needs to build the incinerator in Mingjian township because the country's other incinerators are at full capacity. At the first meeting about the plans on Monday, residents and activists expressed concerns over what the furnace could mean.
Mingjian township is known for its sprawling tea plantations and thriving tea industry. But now the Nantou County government is considering building an incinerator in Mingjian township. According to the local government, building an incinerator is going to resolve Nantou's rising waste problem. Since the plan was announced last year, residents have voiced concerns that the incinerator could harm the tea industry, while environmental groups question the project's necessity. Protesters shouted the meeting was invalid and clashed violently with police. And that was during the 5th Environmental Impact Assessment meeting held by the Nantou County government on September 23rd. Around 100 local farmers and environmental groups gathered to protest. They attempted to enter the meeting as concerned parties but were blocked by police. You're listening to The Divide. My name is Iris Xu.
I am Simon Chen. We process the tea around all of Taiwan, and then we try to market it to the newer, younger audience.
Simon is a tea processor. He's also an influencer on Instagram.
If you go to the official website of all those bubble tea brands, you will see that they always focus on how care they are to the tea material they are using. But to my huge surprise, the only people that shows up is probably the Mingjian people and all these environmental protection people. And of course, a bunch of police. So right now, the Nantou County governor is demonstrating how to properly communicate. Here you can see how efficient to use live video to communicate with your countrymen. Right now, there's no voice.
As a tea processor, Simon has a stake in protecting the environment of the tea-producing region.
I have to say, fortunately, I am not a tea farmer. But because of that privilege, I am able to have contact with a lot of the interesting tea farmer around the entire island. And Mingjian is one of it.
If Mingjian is not the only tea region that Simon is counting on, then why is he showing up at every meeting about Mingjian's incinerator plan?
Throughout years, like in the past 10 years, one of our main mission is to collect and try to promote those very interesting but quite rare terroir around Taiwan. Each section, each region in Taiwan bears its own unique terroir. So if the audience here don't know what terroir means how the land will reflect the taste to the tea or even wine. And throughout years of experiment and experience, we do realize that each land will carry its own unique terroir. And that's what makes Mingjian's value really, really cherishable, I would say, because if it's gone, if that place is polluted, like some other places we have discovered in Taiwan that's polluted, then it might be not that healthy to the next generation anymore.
I see. And the county government says Nantou's garbage piles are growing and that a self-managed facility is the only long-term solution. What is your view?
Well, it is not my view. I would say I basically collected a lot of different views. There are always way better alternatives to resolve the garbage issue in Nantou, basically. There's a better location, better way to deal with it, and better way to communicate as well. But if any of the audience here today has been watching our channel, you will see that the current Nantou County governor, they really have no intention to communicate or just make a sound argument to whoever will be affected. Just no, because we already know there are better ways to deal with the garbage problem in Nantou already. You can cut it by the source, like reduce the producing rate in Nantou. You can have a much more modern way to deal with the garbage itself. And of course, there's always that thing that you have a way more adequate location where you can build the bloody incinerator. But Nantou County government they just do whatever they like, and that's a very strange thing from outsider view.
So it's not only the smoke from the incinerator that would affect tea's aroma and quality.
Not only the tea will be affected, but also the water source right beneath it will be affected. And not just the tea, because there will be the wind in the summertime, and it can blow those pollution. I don't buy those statement that there's zero emission this day because of a newer technology. I don't buy it, because all technology is operated by the person behind it or the company behind it. And from the way they are executing the entire matter, I don't think they are able to fulfill that wish of zero emission at all. And that's why that emission will affect the people, the residents in Zhanghua, like people in Eshui, like Pintoi Zhanghua, or even in Zhanghua City as well. Not only tea will be affected.
If the government continues to push through the plan to build this incinerator, how do you think this is going to impact the tea industry in Taiwan?
I think the most apparent showcase here is what happened in Taichung in the past couple of days. Right now in Taichung there's an African swine fever. Yeah, that's exactly what will happen to the tea. You have the African swine fever now in the piggy community, the piggy industry. The tea will eventually become the same thing, as long as this garbage project keeps going on without actually dealing with the problem itself. The tea will eventually the value of it, the terroir will first of all be destroyed. And eventually, what if in the future the international community decide to lower the bar of the dioxin again once more? What if you really just got detected a tiny bit of dioxin in the tea, like the agricultural produce from Mingjian? The Mingjian already make a case. Incinerator will affect the soil and the air and to the agricultural product there. The Nantou County government has no intention to actually discuss about this matter. What they have been emphasizing is that it is just okay, because what the regulations say is okay, so it's okay. That's not how you communicate a matter like this. And especially when Mingjian will only affect a little teeny group of people. But this Mingjian matter, what it will affect is not only the health of the population on the entire Taiwan, but also the reputation of Taiwan as the hometown, the motherland of bubble tea itself, bubble tea culture itself. That's how severe it can be.
In December 1990, the World Health Organization, or WHO, established a tolerable daily intake measure for dioxin, which is 10 picogram per kilogram based on one's body weight. And the European Food Safety Authority, or EFSA, recommends a tolerable weekly intake of 2 picograms per kilogram. But who knows how many picograms the new incinerator in Mingjian is going to be producing. Now, does Simon think that the consumers are going to stop buying tea from Mingjian in the future if Mingjian has an incinerator?
What I notice is that they don't pay attention to even the upcoming calamity. They don't pay attention to it until it's way too late. Several years ago, the Dinxin matter, the Dinxin matter, what's about it? It's about, all I can recall now is milk, but it has nothing to do with the milk. It has to do with the oil or something. I believe before that, there might be signs of what will happen to what people are going to eat already. It's actually pretty much just like the African swine fever now. There's always signs there. But the consumer they don't pay attention to it until it's way, way too late. Yeah. So I think, and according to my experience, after I returned to Taiwan, the market, because we are all pretty much afraid of death and afraid of cancer and afraid of chronic disease, they will feel it, and they will be affected, especially their impression of Mingjian. They will be affected and influenced. But what I think really makes the entire matter really absurd is that what all this consumer should be emphasizing on is those bubble tea brand, or not just only bubble tea, but a can. They like Taiwan, very famous bottled tea brand in Taiwan, or Yuchayuan, all this tea brand. The consumer should have already at least try to voice them, give them feedback about what's going on in the Mingjian right now. And from the past couple months, I don't think any of these companies shows any true cares about the material they are going to be used from Mingjian being polluted, because none of them had ever attended any of this important event, to at least stand with your resource, so stand with them and try to voice against whoever is going to destroy the material you're going to use. None of this tea brand is doing this. None of them are doing this or showing sign of doing this. And the consumer, I don't think they really care neither, because these companies, they are not concerned at all. They just don't.
Why do you think that they don't care that much? I thought that, if their resources or their material came from this place.
Yeah. Very, very logical mindset there. As a company, you should be. But what we saw, the local saw, is they just, no, they don't really give a damn about what's happening there. And I have no clue why, because Mingjian is the major producing site for the entire bubble tea and even bottled tea in Taiwan. But none of these companies showed any concern. And I think one of the reason is that the consumer market didn't stress them or didn't let them know they actually care. So the company naturally just don't care as well. The consumer market don't pay attention yet. So there's no pressure, no stress for the company, no incentive for the companies to make any true change or any true care about what they are doing. Yeah.
I see. And what's the sentiment now in Mingjian?
Tomorrow, Wednesday, there will be another small public hearing, but more like a private public hearing for the Ximin village people. So basically, Nantou County government is going to propose some compensating plan for the Ximin village people. Ximin village is part of the Mingjian township. And the funniest part is because they choose a relatively minority place. Like Ximin village is actually a very, very minority place. They choose it, I would say, so they can better control and bribe that place to do whatever they would like to do.
Which is building an incinerator.
Which is, I would say, to make great fortune from the garbage problem that's happening in Nantou.
How do they make money from building this?
So let's do a small quick short lesson here. So there are two types of garbage in the market. So there's a garbage market, okay, people. There are two types of garbage. One is family garbage. So basically it's what we normally produce. And there's the industrial garbage. How you make money is you try to minimize your business with the family garbage because those don't really make money. What truly makes money is the industrial garbage. You burn a ton of it and you can make at least 10,000 new Taiwan dollar, or just 1 ton. And from the plan, from what we can see of Nantou County governor is that they will absolutely focus eventually on those industrial garbage, for sure. That's why the entire so-called environmental protected park can consume at least 700 tons of garbage every day. And we did some brief calculation. That's quite a lot of fortune. Yeah.
And how united are the farmers and residents in opposing or questioning the project?
Okay, here's the thing. And this basically happens in a lot of low population density area, such as Hualien, such as Nantou. As long as it's a very, very low population density region, this will happen. People are very easily coerced and easily bribed because if you don't do what the ruler there is telling you to do, they will give you some candy first. They will show you what they can give to you. The first of all is, of course, the money, like what we're going to see tomorrow afternoon. And if that won't work, they will they won't go to mafia first. They will use the locals' neighbors' pressure against you. They will use those whoever knows you to call you, to visit you, to let you know that you are breaking the bound, the precious community bond of the local. That's the very first thing they will use. And we got this from the first hand from our friend in Mingjian as well. That thing is actually more frightening than any of the mafia you ever encounter, because they actually know you, and they kind of treat you like a part of their family too, and they will use that to coerce you, to make sure you are kind of stressed. But if that don't work, they will begin to use all sort of matters, such as they will use their governmental power to check your water meter, all those good stuff, and tax. And eventually, if you're still going to fight, the mafia will show. We'll give you a proper lesson. And we did see a mafia member last time at the public hearing.
To intimidate.
To at least observe who is making the noise, who is making trouble for this great fortunate plan.
This episode of The Divide is produced by Radio Taiwan International.